All right, hello everybody. My name is Infinity and we're here again. This week we are going to be learning how to do a half double crochet. If you remember correctly, last lesson was 1 over single crochet. A little bit about half double crochets as it suggests. It's a little bit taller than the single crochet. It's actually twice the height of a single crochet, and to me it's the second foundational crochet stitch that you need to learn. It works similarly to a single crochet, but it's also kind of like a double crochet if you're familiar with those, but if not, don't worry about it. It's just slightly different. Like I said before, I teach it secondly because to me it is the middle step, so to speak. Like, it's shorter than a double crochet, but it's taller than a single crochet, so it makes sense to me. So without further ado, today we're gonna get started. So yeah, before we get started, I wanted to talk about it. I know for like beginners who are learning how to crochet, they're like, ooh, I can't wait to make a big project to show off my skills and whatnot. And a lot of times we want to do like super complicated stuff, or we feel frustrated because we think we can't make super cool stuff without knowing like all the stitches. Well, you don't have to know all the stitches. So this is an infinity cowl that I made. It's completely made out of half double crochets. As you can see, don't know how well you like it. I think the color is called forest or meadow. I don't know. I call it mother of pearl. It's one of the Red Heart Unforgettable yarns. It's really soft, super fun to work with. It's just an interesting task trying to find the inside string. So now, without further ado, we will get into how to do the half double crochet. To do this tutorial today. Alright, so today all you'll need to follow along will be your crochet hook. I'm going to stick with my size 5 because, well, standard for the yarn I'm using. Today I am using yet another super saver. It is called Tea Leaf Green. Super pretty. It runs out in the fall really fast, so if you like it, you might want to try finding it at Walmart or your local Michael's. So, in case you didn't tune in to my last tutorial, or you don't know how to chain, etc., I'll be going over that again today. So, first of all, what you're going to want to do is make a slip knot. Now, to make a slip knot, some people use the pretzel method. I don't have a particular name for it, but what I do is I take my yarn between my thumb and my index finger, and I add a finger in there, and I wrap the tail end of my yarn around my fingers. Okay, back to that thumb, and then I just kind of drop my tail. You can see it. And I put my hook under the loop that's in my fingers, and I come up and I grab that tail and I pull up this loop, and I just pull. Now, if you're still like not clear on how to do a slip knot, either you can go back to the first tutorial or you can find another tutorial that could suit you. So today I think I will do a chain of 10 again. So if you remember, chaining is super easy too. You just yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through. So now I have 3 stitches. So I'm just going to go ahead and do 7 more real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I have 10 chains. Okay. So now that that is done, I'm going to chain, I say an extra 2. These 2 chains are my turning chains. So turning chains are basically the chains that you will use when you go to each new row of your project, which we'll get to in a little bit here, because I will do more than one row today. So in order to do a half double crochet, what you're going to want to do is yarn over, and you're going to want to insert your hook into this third chain from your hook. So not the one that's on there, not this one, but this third one here. Just going to yarn over and neatly put it in there under one loop, yarn over, pull through, and then I should have 3 loops on my hook here, which I do. And then I'm going to yarn over again, and I'm going to pull through all 3 of those loops. And here you will see I just made my first half double crochet. Super easy, right? So we're going to do that again. Just hold our yarn. And like I said in the last video, tension and how to hold your yarn, that will come to you the longer that you do the hobby. So it's not something you really have to worry about at the beginning. They do have a lot of cool little gadgets for tension and yarn holding, but you know, if you're like me, you just want to use your hands for everything. So we're going to yarn over again, which I already have, and we're going to insert our hook into the next chain that we did, right? And we're going to yarn over. We're going to pull up a loop. We're going to yarn over again and pull through all 3. So doing that, going to do it again. All right. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook into that next chain. We will yarn over and pull up a loop. Loop is being stubborn. Gonna yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. We're gonna yarn over and pull through all 3. So now I have just made my third half double crochet. Super awesome. And we're just gonna continue doing this all the way across, but I will work slowly with you guys. So I'm gonna yarn over again and insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, insert, yarn over, and pull up a loop, and then pull through all 3. Now, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, pull through all 3, and so on until you reach the end of the row. Coming on our last 2, and then the last one, you're going to yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through 3. So again, if you didn't tune into last week, you'll see that where you started your slip knot might wiggle open a little bit. That's no big deal. In the end, you'll end up weaving it in, like at the end of your project, but all you have to do is just hold your project and just do a little pull, and that closes it. No big deal. So now we're going to go on to row 2 of this half double crochet. And the reason that I'm doing 2 rows today is because moving on between the rows is a little different the longer your stitches get. So half double crochet and up, you're going to want to make sure that you're moving along, progressing correctly. So for half double crochets, I like to chain 2. So chain 1, chain 1, and then chain 2. All right, what we're going to do, we're going to turn, just flip it over so that your yarn is still in your non-dominant hand and your hook is still in your working hand, but you're now kind of working back towards the other side in a correct way. So a common mistake with, I want to get close to this, a common mistake with progressing with rows is when you, like when people move up, they will go right into the base of that first chain that they made, like right there. And that is actually not correct. It will end up widening your project, and you'll end up with this huge mess, and you'll get frustrated. I remember very clearly some of the stuff that I tried to make and it didn't turn out right, but I learned later that it's because I was going into that first little stitch. So for half double crochets and double crochets alike, what you do, you skip this. So when I yarn over to make my first half double crochet of this row, I don't go into this first chain, but the second one. So I'm going to insert my hook under those loops in that stitch. If I can do it correctly. I'm going to pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, right? Have 3 on your hook, and you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those. So when you pull it close, it looks like this. If it starts coming inward slightly, like just very slightly, that is why we block. And blocking is something else that we will go over maybe in the future, but not right now. It's not too important today. So again, we're going to continue this row the same way that we continued the last row, making 1 half double crochet in each stitch along. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops on your hook. And there we have our second half double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. And I'm going to do that all the way across. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through 3. And again, you can make super fun stuff with half double crochets. It doesn't have to be difficult. You still have these nice uniform little stitches. And all it takes is a little practice. There's no need to get frustrated if they don't come out looking as neat or, as you want them to. It's all practice. With half double crochets in my patterns, I count that chain 2 from the last row as a stitch. So I would also yarn over and see at the very end, you see this 1, 2. I'd actually be going into that top little chain. So I'm just going to yarn over and insert my hook in there, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over and pull through 3. And that is the end of our second row. That is our little swatch. So, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments below or send me a message. I am not always on Instagram, but I will readily respond, or even consider implementing these Q&As into the tutorial videos. But that is all for today. So I thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys again next week. Have fun crocheting.